Coming up, I've got another electric car review to do, but something I didn't think I'd be reviewing for quite some time. Check it out here. Step back, take a look. It's the Cybertruck from Tesla, and it's coming up on my latest Novak Report review. Stick around. The Tesla Cybertruck is arguably the most discussed and debated vehicle in Tesla history since it debuted back in late 2019. It's also the model with the widest swath of opinions from one extreme to the other. The oft-delayed Tesla pickup has been very hard to see on the road until recently, and even harder for most journalists to drive and review. Luckily for me, I know a couple of people who had placed the deposit and would be willing to let me borrow theirs whenever they managed to take delivery. That moment finally happened for a local business owner I know, as he was one of the first wave of Canadians to take delivery. And this is why I get the chance to drive and review a Cybertruck before a number of my colleagues, something admittedly that I don't often get the chance to do. So, here goes. Shane Harker, owner of the Cybertruck you let me drive. You were waiting for a long time. You put the deposit, like you were one of the early guys, right?
Yeah, day one in November of 2019, I put my deposit, and they didn't start selling them until a year ago in the US.
Yeah.
And then in August, I guess there was an approval by Transport Canada for this steer-by-wire thing.
Yeah.
And I saw that on one of my feeds that it had been approved, and a week later I got the notification to configure it, and it said, you know, delivery November, December, and I got it mid-November 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of deliveries going around because people are saying all of a sudden around this area that I've seen none to everybody's noticing one. In fact, when we were driving and doing our ride, we came across another one, and we even did the Jeep hello and he waved back. So, but your experience so far has been
unbelievable.
Really?
Now, I mean, so we've owned a Tesla Model Y for a number of years. So the technology, I think if you're new to it, it would be like awestruck and wow.
Yeah, there
right?
is that, yeah.
I thought it looked a little funny in the beginning, but the coolness factor and the speed is absolutely ridiculous. And funny thing is, I'm not a fast driver, but
right.
I can if I want to.
Yeah. If I'm gonna review a Cybertruck, I guess you gotta go with Beast, and this is what it is. And this Beast has three motors, as you know. It has a motor up front and two on the back. The end result is this thing has 845 horsepower in this Cybertruck. And, you know, that's going to get you from 0 to 100 in like 2.6 seconds, I think it is, or under 3 seconds. Despite how everything here is unfamiliar in its shape, it still does, or elements of it remind me of other vehicles. The front, I mean, there is just so much distance ahead of me with this very long sloping glass panel. And I mean, if you're old enough to know what I'm talking about, you know, the only thing that this reminds me of is the old Pontiac Lumina minivan, because, you know, you remember sitting in one of those things and it had this very long sloping front and that whole idea up there. And, you know, it's kind of crazy to say it, but that reminds me of the Lumina. You know, there really is a wide chasm in between popular opinion on this Cybertruck. Certainly you go online and there doesn't seem to be much of a middle ground. You either just love it or you hate it. I mean, there are those who are like oddball fascinated with it, and I suppose they fall somewhere in between. But it seems that there really is no middle ground. Yet having said that, I think that's where I find myself. This is not for me. It wouldn't fit my style, my taste. It's not meeting my needs. It's just way too powerful and big and gauche. But at the same time, I completely can see how someone would absolutely love this. I mean, there are those who love something so dramatically in your face different. I mean, to make it out of stainless steel is obviously, you know, every sort of engineering or planning or automotive design class you go to would say, no, don't make it with stainless steel. And yet here we are. You know, for those who just want to be so in your face, but in a non-Hemi, non-V8 kind of way, I mean, this screams America. Just the lines of this, they're so sharp and rigid. I mean, trying to mold stainless steel, obviously there's a lot of online content about how much of a difficult time it had. And of course, you know, some of the gaps, it's an imperfect science. I mean, if you're dealing with regular steel, you probably have it down pat, but this is you know, there's some wider gaps here, and coming on close here, you can see how, you know, there's sort of alignment just slightly off, and that's sharp. Ooh, it's got a point. But it's an inexact science when you're dealing with this, but there's just, you know, it's so rigid, and these wheels, like, they're just monstrosities. And of course, you've got your aerodynamic flow, the cover here. One thing that I've heard people talk about, you know, there's only one light here, so it's not like dual headlights. I think I saw another video I saw online where someone was criticizing, if you're coming at this, if it's coming at you, maybe with two headlights you have a perspective on distance, but with one it's kind of thing. And again, this wiper blade, it's like, I mean, it's, you know, I have no idea what it would cost. Like, I used to remember at 20, this has got to be 40 inches, I don't know, but it just, again, everything is just so grandiose, so over the top, so in your face, but you know, it's kind of cool, you know. And there's a frunk under there. I'll open it later and show you in some B-roll. There's some storage space for more tailgating. Got your hooks here. I don't know, it's just, stand back and look at it, man. It's just, phew. So of course here on the back, you've got a couple of unique features. You've got your lift gate and your tonneau cover. It's funny enough, the tonneau cover, you know how I said the front kind of reminds you of the Pontiac Lumina? This is clearly this hard tonneau cover from the Hyundai Santa Cruz. I mean, clearly that's where they got it from, but it rolls up and tucks in behind. I don't know what the weight load is, if you could stand there. I'm not going to try. So it tucks in away, you can see the small back. When that tonneau cover is up, you cannot use the rear view mirror. It's completely pointless. And back up to the power lift gate. And we're in. Weight-wise, I'll get in. Let me get inside here. You've got, so you got some, obviously your hooks for supports. You know, there appears to be, oh, that's right. I believe, if I recall, very Honda Ridgeline-ish. There's a little place to keep your cooler for your tailgate. Again, that's for the Honda Ridgeline. We've got Santa Cruz, Ridgeline, Lumina. Certainly the capacity's there. If you had a ramp, who knows what you get inside. I don't think it's a, nope, you got to pull it up, and then the lift gate just, or the tonneau cover just comes down. You could probably hide in there, I think, you know. Be a little sort of surprise. Lots of people interested in this Cybertruck, friends and family and children of mine. You know, while there is a very love it or loathe it kind of feeling, I'm kind of in the middle, and I kind of get the sense that you might sort of be that way too.
I agree. I've seen some good, I've seen some bad. It's a cool thing, but I said there is some cons, so I'm middle ground.
What don't you like?
It being very reliant on technology, it can be a bit challenging.
Wait a minute. You're 20 years old.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be the one that says, there's technology.
Yeah, I know.
You're the one that, what? What's going on here?
This is a case where it's a bit difficult. It's a bit too compact into one screen.
But Gen Z's isn't this the whole tech thing that's supposed to be?
Yeah, but I try not to make that my life.
But so far, your experience, I mean, what you've seen?
It's been cool. It's been very unique.
So you want to just, we'll see a little bit what it's like off the line?
Sure.
Like we're just, you know, a little quick 0 to 100 or something like that. We're on a, you know, back end road here. So let's see what Beast is like, okay? 3, 2, 1, let's, whoa! Holy shit.
Oh my God.
What the?
What?
There's nothing that I've noticed so far about getting in that is intuitive. Everything about this is different. It's not just what it looks like on the outside. I mean, they just said, hey, if we're going to create something completely different, let's just do everything different. The steering, of course, is completely by wire. There is no steering cables. There is no mechanical. It is completely through electronic touch points. I mean, it could easily be just a joystick. It's a wheel because of familiarity. And because of that, the inputs are tight. I mean, this has four-wheel turning, and that takes a little bit of getting used to, because you expect a vehicle this large to have, a turning radius that would be, similar to, say, an F-150 or a Ram or something like that, or a Silverado. But it's not. And, you can obviously adjust the steering, but it's actually kind of neat to make such a small radius for a big vehicle like this. Tesla has been doing the single screen for a while now. It's not that novel, but this is, again, next level. There's just so many layers, and again, it's not necessarily intuitive. I mean, even for gear selector, it's all on the touch thing, and you have to have your key card, unless you have yourself programmed in the app and it's recognizing you. But as a guest, there's your key card and place down, and then it's a slide. There's no buttons. Like, there's really no buttons in this car. It's buttonless. And once again, it's completely different than what you're used to. If there's one thing that is very obvious about this Cybertruck is how much it draws attention. I mean, it seems that every time I stop at a light or vehicles driving by, the glances, the looks, the smiles, the taking pictures, it's clearly the car, not me. I'd like it to say it's me, but it's that new, and I guess that's whole part of it. It's a truck, it has functionality, it does what a truck can do, but it just looks so much not like a truck. Well, so then what was really the ultimate reason for making this choice? You have a why. I mean, why go here?
So a couple reasons. Probably, like, I'm a big fan of the technology, and so we also have an F-150 Lightning.
Okay.
We've done road trips, so the charging infrastructure and the technology in Tesla is like second to none.
Right.
And so that's one thing. I need a pickup truck for the business.
Okay.
From time to time we need to pick something up for the customer, and then so coupling the charging infrastructure and reliability and the technology and needing a pickup truck. I mean, there's a coolness factor beside it. Right. That's like the icing on the cake, and I always justify it with a business need.
So the business itself, it's called Rethink Resource.
Yeah.
So obviously there's some rethinking involved. Tell me about what you do, or tell them what you do.
We're a waste hauling company, but we focus on diversion from landfill. So we've diverted 80% plus of all waste we've ever collected from landfill. And we specialize for a long time in restaurant and food service, but we're starting to get into warehousing, and we brought on this flour distributor. So if you go into Costco or Loblaws, the black buckets that the flowers are in, like, we recycle those.
Okay.
And so it's really focused on diversion and positive impact on the environment, hence electric vehicles. And with this one now, the fleet is 30% electric.
What's the website if someone wants to learn about you guys?
It's rethinkresource.ca.
I'll put the QR code up.
Yeah.
No, I really appreciate you letting me drive this. It's been fun.
My pleasure.
This Cybertruck, you can have a lot of words, or you can say, I got no words. But it really is a unique, one of a kind. I thank Shane for letting me borrow his for the day to go for a ride. But what did you think? Is this a crazy idea? Would you get one? Is it the ugliest thing you've ever seen? Drop me a comment. Let me know. If you like this video, please indicate so. And hey, share it with others. I'd love it if you did. If you're not subscribed to the Novak Report, please consider doing so. And if you are, make sure you've rung the bell so you get notified of every time I upload something new. That's it for now at my look at the Cybertruck. I'm Eric Novak. Thanks for watching.